Hey, how you doing? This is Kitch, and you are watching me play Factorio. We're back on the main map, you know, the map that we're actually playing on. The one with Bruce. I left him in charge. He's been keeping everything running. It looks like it's been doing very well. And we've got all our old setups here that we were working on before we flipped over into creative mode. How quaint. How very quaint. All these things that we never really used. We were so naive back then. Still probably are a bit. But I think we can go ahead and remove those now. I'm a little late on this episode. I apologize for that. And by a little, I mean kind of a lot. I recorded an episode where I was just basically doing more sushi comparisons and not really saying a whole lot. And spent a lot of time talking with myself on how I wanted to proceed forward. And it just didn't turn out to be a very good or interesting or engaging. I think this is the 60 science a minute setup. Oh, it's got pipes and everything. How cute. Oh, boy. We've changed a little bit since those days. But yeah, it was just me kind of having a conversation with myself over how I wanted to do this, and proposing a lot of questions that would already be answered by the time the next episode came about. And I didn't want to do that. I didn't think that was a good way. I scrapped the episode, and we're gonna start over. I think it's gonna be for the best. So yeah, step one is going to be to get rid of all of this stuff. And I was doing some thinking, right? So What I talked about doing was, yeah, well, we can get rid of all this stuff too. What I was thinking about doing was going somewhere on the map and kind of setting it up through, like, a train network. But as I got to looking at this base, I'm like, everything we need is right here. And what is it doing? It's currently just making science. That's what our sushi setups are doing. Launching rockets, things like that. With the exception of the modules down here, the mall, and the robot factory over here, everything else is just dedicated to making science, which is what our sushi setup does. So why not just build it here? We've kind of got an infrastructure here. We've got a big, huge, giant bus. We'll clear off a lot of these lines if we're not making the science down here. And maybe we could just do like a big, like, sushi bus going around here and have all of our little modules feeding off of it. That's what I'm thinking right now. And I believe that's the direction that I want to go. We have a lot of infrastructure stuff that needs to happen. We need to set up some refining that is barreling things. We need to increase our copper, iron, and steel production, as well as probably get some more stone and coal moving along. These are all things that we need to do. And I think what that means is that we can get rid of a lot of this stuff. A lot of it. Like, all this stuff can go away. Yeah. Let's do that. We're committed. We're going in. We're going in hot. We're absolutely committed to this. All this stuff is now going away. All right, so this is going to make a lot of robot jobs. They are going to be busy for quite some time. So I'm going to go ahead and roll the intro now, and I will see you here shortly whenever we have all of this stuff cleaned up. Let's see, this one needs to continue. All right, things are getting cleaned up quite a bit. We've got a lot of extra room over here and a ton of stuff in storage. But boy, that felt good. Just cleaning out all that stuff. It's a shame to get rid of it, but oh, we're still missing some things here and there that didn't quite get caught. Some belts that are going to nowhere. But that is to be expected. Yeah, those will all get cleaned up. I basically cleaned up to the mall. Let's see, that lubricant doesn't go past the mall. So, yeah. And I left the blue circuits being made down here because they are currently being made to make the modules that we need, which is really all that we currently need. Now, I want to redo this a little bit, I think, and maybe make it just a little bit closer here to this guy, and on this side of the bus. And this wasn't a right ratio. This just that was convenient. I think I do want to kind of set it up to be a little bit more ratio worky. So let's go. We should have like a ton of beacons laying around and probably a ton of assembling machines as well. So let's grab some of those and let's make a visit to the trash dump here. Yeah, let's get rid of all that. Let's see, batteries, engine units, bricks, old blueprints that probably aren't worth much anymore. I tried to keep my robots off as much as possible. There were some areas where I had to turn them on in order to try to minimize the amount of garbage I accumulated in my inventory. That was not always successful. 44 logistic bots. What are those about? I don't know. We'll just put them in storage for now. We got a ton of stuff in storage here, but that's fine. Our buffer chests overfloweth. Oh, and what do we got going on here? This is all just a big mess. And I noticed I was being somewhat inconsistent with the way that I was doing power poles down the bus, and that kind of bothered me a little bit anyway. So no matter which direction we went, we would still have to completely destroy everything. Yeah, see, there's right here where it's on the inside, and then it flips over here to the outside for some reason. But that's okay. All right, let's see if we can't make this work a little bit better. Let's just throw out our line of beacons here. And let's grab some of... that's just the blueprint. These guys. All right, we're going to need... is that... Yeah. We want 5 of these, making the level 1 modules. This is the way that the ratio works. And then 3 making these modules. And then 1 making those. The level 3s. It's actually 2.5 of these, but what are you going to do? All right, and let's see if we can't make this work. So we're going to need a line of red and green circuits coming in. I'm not sure if just one belt will work for that. Let's try it. And then we're going to need a belt of blue circuits coming in as well. All right, and then the question will be, how do we get these down there? And I think the best way to do that would probably be with belt braiding, and I don't think that's going to be enough. Let's take that up, and do I not have any blue belt? I guess I'm not requesting blue belt. It'd be a shame. It shouldn't be too difficult to come up here and get some, though, because we should have... Well, actually, I don't know that we were using blue belt that much in this factory. Let's just grab a big, giant stack of it. Oh, yep, that's a lot of it. Let's see, do you guys take... Okay, you guys just take the red and the blues. So if we make this red and blue and this green, that might work. All right, and how many green circuits do you need? You need 5. So we'll get, like, stack inserters going in. And I think we could probably just do... we'll do fasts because we have them. All right, so if we make that yellow belt and that yellow belt and that yellow belt... like that. Okay, and then blue undergrounds like that. And I think that's we make this line green circuits. That should be fine. And we got 2 red lines coming in here, so we should be able to fill up that blue belt just fine. All right, and you guys are going to need red circuits as well. I think let's go with that pattern. I think that should work. You guys are going to need red and blue circuits, which will be on that line, and you will need red and blue circuits, which will be on that line. Okay, you will need those modules. And then I guess we could pull red. To right there. To get all 3 colors involved for our belt braiding. And then the level 2s can spit out to the red belts, and that will get sucked in there. And you will go out to box, which should probably be a provider chest or a buffer chest. Let's do it buffery. All right, and I think that should work. Let's go down here to our... Well, let's go ahead and get this hooked up first. Let's see, these are going to be blue, or these are going to be the green circuits coming in, and this is going to be a mix of red and blue circuits coming in. Is there any reason why we just don't make this blue just because? Let's just make it blue just because. Because I don't know what the numbers are there. I have not looked at them. If it's an empty belt, it'll be an empty belt. All right, so we do need that there. Are we full of stuff already? Greens. Looks like there were some reds on the tip of that. We'll go ahead and drain those off. Okay, and you go like that. And you guys will feed in like that. And technically all those down there are now done. Okay, let's go down and grab modules. We can't use productivities there. We can only use speeds. Because all modules are considered finished products. Okay, and then we just need some power poles through here. There. All right, and may as well, since we have the modules, go ahead and put them in here as well, and that should get some big, giant, ugly speed going on, and they should start producing modules at great rates. Already got our level 2s going. The problem looks like it's going to be with red. Let's see, I think the problem is that all these red circuits are currently coming down on a yellow belt. So I think we can just upgrade plan that. I think it all needs to be red, but just a nice little section of it turned red will help things out considerably. Make sure we got all the spots. Okay, and I think these lines can actually end right there, and our robots can get back to recycling these circuits back into the system. And we shorten our bus considerably. All right. How are we looking here? What don't you have? Oh, you're supposed to be level 3. That would probably help considerably. Alright, you are loaded up with your stuff, and all of this is just looking great. You are not getting... Oh, no, you're backed up. Okay, very nice. Alright, so that'll start producing modules at an increased rate. Much increased rate. Do we not have this in logistic range anymore? We do not. Let's get a RoboPort here in logistic range so we can get all these blue circuits recycled. Let's see. Do we still have our buffer there? We do, in case we should need them someday. Still a yellow belt in there? Yes. All right. That is that. And I think that is a good, nice blank slate for us to begin our work on. My idea is to kind of utilize these bus lanes a little bit better. So that we can get kind of all the items coming down on the bus here. We've got some extra spots we could use. To get things like the coal and the stone and the steel intermingled in with these. And actually, I think we could go down less. We could just convert these over to blue and send some more stuff down. And maybe even make this like kind of a sushi belt coming all the way around. And technically, we don't need our science bus here anymore, so I was thinking about moving the collision bus over one to give us an extra lane. That would give us 1, 2, 3 of these coming down, and then 1, 2, 3 for going back if we did want to kind of sushify things a little bit. But that's episode for another day. This just gives us a nice little blank slate to work on. We still got a lot of work to do. We need to set up barreling. We need to set up refining a little bit better. But we will get to that soon. I want to go ahead and end the episode out just by going over some of the sushi setups that I did. And let's do that now. All right, so there's what I'm looking at here, and I think this was going to be my final test. I used the setup that had kind of the little buffer thing. I set up 2 of those, just identical setups, started at the same time. Down here, I have the buffered setup with the maki roll setup with the yellow belts put in here to kind of spread things out a little bit more evenly. Down here, I have the traditional maki roll setup, and down here, I have 2 of them of the maki roll setup with the yellow belts. And then down here, I set up 3 of the 5 belt sushi, the ones that we started with, the ones that were winning every single time, except for the last time for some weird reason. So let's come down here and check out the numbers real quick. We're looking at 17 on these, 17 on this one, and 16 on this one. Exact same setup, no variation in between them. It's just those little variations that you can get due to the inserter's free will. 2666, 2665. These look very consistent to me, and then 2622. So I think I'm going to go with this one. Majority wins. 17 a minute. On the traditional maki roll setup with the yellow things, this was looking promising in the last one, but we're down to 15 and 16 here. Not too great. The traditional maki roll, though, is 15 and 15, so we are getting a little bit better potential, but I think that's all within the margin of error. I think I'm going to go ahead and call this setup here just 15 science a minute. Up here with the buffers, it's mostly 16s. We got this one guy. The yellow belt didn't seem to make any difference at all, with the exception of this one here, that there was something going on with it. This 13 is not very accurate. There was something messed up with the steel coming in. I can't figure out what it is, but steel got drained, and it just was not able to recover. There was a leak somewhere. I've searched it many times. I can't find it, but I'm going ahead and calling this setup 16. So yeah, it's been going on for a very, very, very long time now, and the numbers seem to be fairly stable. So I think this is the setup I've got to go with. I just got to go with the number, and it is the more purest sushi setup. I mean, everything is literally going around on one belt. There are no tricks. It's just flat out belts and numbers that we're throwing at it. So I think this is the one I'm going to go with, and I redid the entrances to all these for the train station setups. Not sure if we're going to use them, but they are set up that way should we decide to. All right, well, yeah, I'm done testing. I'm just kind of sick of it right now. If we make any other discoveries here, we may come back to the creative world, but I think for right now, I'm just done. Well, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. I will see you in the next episode. Have a good one.